Hello YouTube, welcome back to Matt's Country. Thanks for popping past. I've got a bit of droop. I guess it could be an age thing. I mean, I'm old, the gun's old. Go figure, right? So fundamentally, let's talk about what technically this could be all about. This gun shoots lower than it should do, and it's not uncommon that break barrels, and to be fair, my beloved Virax do have a bit of a reputation for this, and some people go, oh, it's never happened to me. Fair play. But this definitely shoots low. Now, it could be that it's shooting low because the barrel engineered into the block is fractionally different angle. It could be to do with the way the lockup works. It could be that that whole mechanism isn't quite in line with the cylinder. Could be any of those things. It could even be the barrel's bent. It's unlikely. I mean, barrels are fearsome bits of steel. But hey, lots and lots of things. So I'm asking you all for your help because I need to work out how to compensate for my droop. Okay? There's lots and lots of discussion pieces. Initially, this is a Hawke fast mount, which I added on yesterday at the range while I was with my friend Nick, who was helping with his technical brain to try and work out why this was shooting so badly. It was shooting consistently in terms of power, but not very consistently in terms of accuracy. I did have this. This is a Veyron, Vector Optics Veyron, purchased especially for the job because I thought it was a big heavy scope for a big Springer. Not actually that impressed with this. I mean, as an aside, I just want to point out that where the nitrogen purging seal is, the glue around it is abysmally fitted up. I'm assuming it's still nitrogen purged. I mean, it's under warranty. It's quite new. Anyway, so this was fitted. This came with these, which are Weaver rails, which is normally a pain in the arse, to be honest, on an old Springer, but I had purchased a Hawke Droop Compensator, dun, 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 which happens to be Weaver. And the dovetails clamp to the gun, and then it doesn't adjust that way. You're not looking for that much droop. So if anybody's got one of these, it's not so that you don't fit it on the gun and then make the scope aim so far down that it shoots, that it's looking through the cylinder. It goes this way round, and you're looking at this front piece fractionally moving down into the clamps. There's a little Allen key on the top which pushes on that brass lug, so you can unscrew it and allow it to fractionally move down. Then you lock it into position with that Allen key. The problem I found with it, I don't even know if they make these. I can't find them on Hawke's website, so maybe they've disappeared off the planet because they don't. I'm not going to say they don't work. I'm sure somebody somewhere has managed to get this to work. I failed. When you clamp it onto the block and you start doing the Allen keys up, which are, as you can see, alternate sides, they grip and they squeeze on this thing. In theory, to hold it still, but in practice I found it was actually squeezing it fractionally upward and it was popping back out. It took a blooming long time to get the Veyron onto this with what looked like, and we are talking about eyeballing this, which is not technical, and I've got lots of guns. This is an experiment. It wasn't the end of the world. Did I get frustrated yesterday at the range? Yeah. Did Nick step in? Yeah. Redfern, I'm well grateful, thank you, because he said, look, give it here, I'm going to fiddle around with it. And his fundamental words were, what the fuck is it? Sorry. What the jolly hell is this? This is very complicated. Can we remove all of these things because you've got too many factors in there? And in my heart of hearts, I knew that. But you do need somebody else to look in through the window sometimes. So I said, well, I've got a spare one because I've got a fast mount. We'll stick this on. And of course, there's no way of adjusting it. But once it was on and we had removed the potential lefty-rightiness that these can fractionally create, because let's be honest, this is just a thing clamped in a thing, clamped to a thing, then bolted to a thing. And there's a bit of lefty-rightiness, particularly these Weaver rails only tighten from one side. They don't grip both sides. So that side pulls in, and obviously it then needs to fit perfectly. And that assumes that this is central, which it should be. But hey, when you add the scope rail, the dovetails to this, to the uppy downy. Anyway, long story short, I was like, Nick, do what you got to do, mate, before I hacksaw it to pieces and chuck it on a bonfire. Wouldn't really do that, spent too much time and effort on it. So the question is, how do we now create a little bit of lift at the back of the scope? And my question to you all that have put up with this video so far is quite literally, Tell me, please. The old school was to take the back clamp off and to slide a piece of camera film underneath it. And I have done that long ago myself, and it did work. But there are other ways. A Coke can, a Lilt can, a Sprite can, cut because a very thin piece of alloy slid in there could work as well. But you know what? I think that could be too thick. I think that could be too much. Nick said, stop messing around, buy proper mounts. I was like, I've just bought proper rails made by a proper company. So what he's on about me buying is, whether it's for this or for this, the mounts that adjust up and down. And they obviously then have a fraction of angulation, so that you can, when you raise something at the back, you don't want to flex the tube. I don't think it needs that much. Now what we did was, he zeroed it left and right. I'm shooting really heavy grains out of this. This is sub 12, so this is a normal UK power output. In fact, it's about 11 to be fair. And I've put in some big H&Ns through this yesterday. It's going to get used very short range, probably straight up, which is what I used to do with it with the red dot, straight into the soft underbelly of corvids that should not be there. And the red dot worked all right because it was dead easy to zero. Anyway, he zeroed this at relatively close range, left and right. And then what we discovered was that obviously we ran out of range on the turret, which is expected. You can't go down too far, particularly because it's a 25mm. Why did I buy the 30mm tube? Because you get more travel. And if this had scope mounts, probably be fine. Anyway, enough natter. So what do you think? There is a system of folding tin foil, and I've done that too, and I'm quite good at that. That's a potential. Or should I buy the mounts, or what should I do? So how do I get the Hawke to angle the scope fractionally down by raising the back so that I can get it to zero at a sensible range? At the moment, with it adjusted all the way to the bottom of its travel, if I use the very lowest mil dot as the zero, I'm hitting at 15 to 20 consistently. And to be honest, that's ideal. So in theory, I could just use it like that. But that's not the point, is it? We all want better. So please comment. Don't just say, you're an idiot. Well, you can actually. If you want to say, you're an idiot, you can do. I've had a few. Why didn't you tell us where to buy the components? I'm not a shop. I'm not being paid for this. If you can't work it out yourself, do one. In the meantime, biscuits. Let's have a silent moment for the almond finger. The finger. Thank you, YouTube. Please tell me what I've got to do before I do something bad and wrong. It's been emotional. Take care. Goodbye.